get the live stream, the PDF. So I'm just gonna load up my, I have a couple things here. There's 3 PDFs, the basic chords, the lead sheet with lyrics, the tabs, and then some comping rhythms. I'm just gonna go ahead and load up the lead sheet, and I'm gonna talk about my favorite chords and some comping. So this has the melody notated. Terry, welcome. Such a classic song, The Girl from Ipanema, and it's actually a hard song. I'm not gonna lie, it's a challenging song. You'll hear some really great players struggle with it, especially if they don't do their homework on that B section. The A section, I usually say, is very similar to the chord changes as Take the A Train or Exactly Like You. You know, just that common, it's a pretty common set of changes. Deed I Do is another one. So what we have here is, we're in the key of F. I'm just gonna get started here and walk you through the basic chords, and we can fancy it up. Key of F, we've got the 1 chord, F major 7. We've got the 2 dominant, G7. I prefer G13. So when you see my chart, I like G13. And the melody is on the 13th degree. And then we turn that 2, that's a 2 dominant, it's a 5 with a 5, if you want to think of it that way. And then we turn it to minor, that's the real 2. And then, this is what's special about Jobim's compositions, is the heavy use of tritone sub. Tritone. So instead of the C7, which is the 5 chord of F, we put G flat 7, tritone, flat 5. If you really look at it on the guitar, here's C7, and then if you put G flat in the bass, it still sounds great. The bass player could just play G flat, and you could be playing C7, and you get G flat 7 with a flat 5. Or you could look at it as C7 with a flat 5. It's the same. So it's awesome, the tritone sub. And then back to the 1. And then back to the tritone sub. Again, that tritone sub is a half step above the root. That's the best way to remember it. The tonic is the root, F. And this makes a great vamp to go like this. So essentially, when you're going F major 7 to G flat 7 flat 5, that's basically going 1 5 1 5 back and forth. Okay, it's a really nice vamp, but it adds a little spice. We love that. And then the resolution. But I'll save that fancy chord for the end. Some of you have already seen my chord melody arrangement. Seen some of my performances. I always end on this chord. That's an F major 7 sharp 11. Okay, so that's our A section. Let's do that together. Feel free to type in the comments if you have any questions on these chords. This is all notated on those basic chords, and then also on the lead sheet there. The lead sheet just says G7, but again, I like G13. I'll show you another route too. It's really important to experiment and explore different chords. So here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, that's our A section. And then the B section. Oh, but I watch her so sadly. But how can I tell her I love her? Yes, I would give my heart gladly. But each day that she walks through the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at me. The The B section we'll talk about in a second. But that's the basic changes there. If you do that, you can get by through the tune and sound great. There's some fancy chords that we could do, some alterations, some extensions as well. Let's show you another route though. If you don't want to start down here, let's start up here. Let's do something a little bit fancier. Let's go ahead and do F6-9. This is very, very in the bossa style. F6-9. So we have F, A, D, root third, 6, and then the 9. You can put your pinky down on the C, but I don't really want to hear that high note. It's too distracting to the vocal or to the melody. So I just basically keep it these 4 inner strings here. And then for the tritone sub, just go up a half step and do G flat 9. And if you put the flat 5 on the top, it'd sound like this. But you don't need that, you can just do this. And then melody. That's your A section. That was the intro. G9, G minor 9, G flat 9. This is a really nice route. Now sometimes I like to do major 9. What's the difference between F major 9 and F6-9? Feel free to type it into the comments. I always like to quiz you all. It's good to go over some of these theory. That's one of the benefits of these live streams. I can chat with you. We have F major 9. Basically, we want to have this, we need to have that 7th degree included with the 9. And that's a major 7, the E note. If we took that off, we would have F6-9. I like to do both sometimes like this. Some inner voice leading, okay? It's really sweet. So again, that's F major 9 to F6-9. If you want to do that, definitely feel free to choose. G9 is, when I'm on the 5th string root, I really favor a lot of 9 chords. Minor it, so that was G dominant 9, G minor 9, and then G flat 9, that's tritone. There's the real 5. And then back to F6-9. And then the turnaround, G flat 9. Okay, so that's another route that we can do. I like that too. Sometimes I mix it up. I mix and match. Sometimes I do this for the last A section. And generally speaking, traditionally, it would just follow the original version, go up to a half step for that turnaround. But a lot of jazz players, especially the more, again, contemporary style, they'll mess around with those turnarounds and have a lot of fun. So something that you can do, that I like to do, is 3-6-2-5. Instead of just 1 to the 5, is to have movement. So I do A minor 7, D7, G minor 7, C7, F major 7. And that's 1-6-2-5, which is the most common turnaround. So check it out. And I'll kind of just do it a few different ways. I'll pick up the tempo just a little bit so that you can see the variation. Flat 5. So there went F/A, A flat dim, G minor 11, G flat 7 flat 5, or I think I did a plain old C7. But again, you can do all these variations for the turnaround. You know, just make sure that your band is kind of following you when it's generally speaking, but that's the common practice jazz thing to do, is to put a 1-6-2-5 as a turnaround or a 3-6-2-5. So that's the A section chords. It's just like exactly like you again, or take the A train. Just remember that, because why is that important? Well, when you're doing some soloing, that's what you're going to be thinking, is that, you know, makes it easy just to have those standard song forms down. Okay, we're not going to modulate different keys. I already have done a video just pointing out how to think about it and how to modulate to all 12 keys. It's not that hard to do on that on this. I'm going to show you just maybe one key, but I want somebody to type in the chat what key. Pick a key, any key. The original key is D flat major, just so you know. And I want everybody to try this with me. It's very important again. And I'm going to show you kind of the process, the steps. I think this is also important. And you know, many of you know what I'm going to say first, right? Be a bass player. So if somebody can type in their favorite key, let's do it. The A section. Oh, Graham, I knew you were going to put G. I knew somebody was. Good. Well, G's not too far from F, but that's a great key. So here it is, the A section. Start the process of doing the Girl from Ipanema in the key of G. We got the 1 chord, the 2 dominant, the 2 minor, the flat 2, which is dominant or tritone sub dominant, and then back to the 1, and flat 2, and again. Isn't that easy? I know it's too easy, and that's your A section with chords. That's where we have fun. Turn around. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. That's a nice turnaround for the first ending. You don't want to do that on the second ending. You want to just stay on the root, the tonic G in this case. But hopefully you can see the beauty of this, of mapping out the bass line and the use of tritone substitution, how it actually makes it easy. 1, 2, dominant, turn that 2 to minor, flat the 2, make it dominant for tritone sub, and then back to the 1. Easy. And you can think that way on the top strings, especially with triads. Too easy, right? It makes soloing easier. So again, I'm always talking about when you're soloing, you've got to understand how the song works, the chords, the progression. That makes soloing, especially in jazz, if you're not just going to be running up and down pentatonic scales or rock style, you know, but playing the changes, you've got to be able to navigate those chords and understand the chord movements. That helps you think, especially guitar players. We like to see these chord shapes to help us come up with our licks and our phrases and our lines. Okay, so let's take it to the B section if there's no other questions. That was pretty easy. Hopefully you can feel pretty confident that you could do this song in any key, the A section at least. Okay, here we go to the B section. So what happens here when it resolves on the 1 chord, this is measure, it's an A, B, A song form. So the first A section is 8 bars, second is 8 bars, so we're on now measure 17, okay? G flat major 7, it modulates, it goes up a half step. Again, I already have a pretty long lesson talking about all the modulation schemes and working you through 12 keys. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. I'm just going to more just show you the shapes that I like to do and some subs and some ideas. But just remember, we go up a half step. And the melody now is on the major 7. Oh, that helps a lot. A lot of singers, they want that note. They need a little bit of help hearing that note. Oh, even myself. But I'm not a great singer, but I definitely like to hear that major 7 in there, in the chord voicing somewhere. Oh, but I watch her so sad. So we have G flat major 7, B9. I like to do a sus first, and then the B9. The melody's on the 9 to the 3. So we have this. It's a 4 dominant. So we have this. Okay, the 4 dominant, kind of bluesy. I'll do that again. I'll do it with the sus that I like to do. So sadly, how can I tell her I love her? So now it goes back to, this is what's so cool. This is what makes the song really tricky, the B section for soloing. It goes back to that tonic. We're in the half step key here, G flat, but now it turns into minor, the parallel minor key, and then the melody's on the 9. So give that 9 to the singer. But I want you so. Okay, or I don't. How can I tell her I love her? Sing the wrong words. And that's D9, D7, whatever your favorite flavors are. Okay, so it goes to the flat 6 of that. And then that flat 6 becomes a 5. It goes to G minor. And G minor 9 is the melody. Just sequencing. Now that's E flat, the flat 6. Okay. And then it goes to A minor. Okay, so here it is so far. The B section. F sharp minor 9. These little fills are really sweet to go. 13, flat 13 to the 5. 13 is the same as a 6th degree. So you're going da da da, this chromatic motif. And yes, we could have done that on the B9. Very, very pretty. You'll hear Joe Beam do that on the piano. This little sweet da da da. So we have this again. Each day that she walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at me. So that now goes to the 3. But each day that she walks to the sea, to the, it's a 3, 6, 2, 5, but it's really nice to get these colors. You can do A minor 7, D7, flat 9, flat 5. And then sequence it, G minor 7. I'll show you those flat 5, flat 9 chords. And then C7, flat 9, flat 5, which is tritone sub again too. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about on the C7 here. Here's the C7, 3-note shape, the shell voicing, right? Well, if you do this, you now have an F sharp major triad. So you have C7, F sharp triad. And you just put that all as one chord. You can even put that flat 5 in the bass. It's pretty dark. It's lovely. See? Last day. So, let's talk about this again. A minor 7. But each day that she walks to the sea. D7, flat 9, flat 5, which is just this A flat triad. Tritone. G minor 7. She looks straight ahead, not at me. Tritone. Okay, and you can do natural 9 if you want. The melody has the flat 5, so you want to hit the flat 5 in there or stay away from it altogether. So you could do this as a 3-note shape. right? Flat 5. Chord exploring. B section. Little backbeat. B13, F sharp minor 9, D9, G minor 9, E flat 7. But each day, last day. Here I chose an F major 9, sharp 11. It's really beautiful to get those sharp 11s on those ending chords in jazz. You'll hear me do that probably too many times, the sharp 11. So there you go, those are the chords for the girl from Ipanema. Beautiful song. If you want the longer version of the lesson where I'm really explaining every little movement, definitely check out the longer version. It's on Patreon. There's a bonus video lesson on, and I have other lessons on Patreon too, which contain bonus video lessons for this classic song. Let's go ahead and hit the melody here. And I might not be playing the melody exactly rhythmically as what's written, but if you compare other singers and vocalists and instrumentalists, nobody's really doing it the same way twice. So just learn it as written and then make up your own version. Do it with chords. I do have a chord melody arrangement. You can grab that on Patreon, of course, if you're a Patreon member, or you can get it in my collections. The link is in the description. Let's talk about the melody of the B section. This is a little bit trickier. I think that what I do want to say about the melody, and I know if I already talked about this in the previous lesson, but it's important for you to know that the melody really emphasizes the 9th degree of the chord. So on an F major chord, it's the 9. And the major 7 and the 6. It's so beautiful and so extended. That's the word, extended. Okay, it's not just 1, 3, 5, but it's 6, 7, and 9. So it sounds like Wes Montgomery to me. Those are the notes he's always focusing on for his soloing on major chords. So one thing that you can do to achieve that color right away is to play and think minor pentatonic off the 3rd degree. And you should give this a try. Here's F major 7. The 3rd is A. So you just play A minor penta. Why? Why does that work? Well, let's talk about it. Here's F. A is the 3rd. Here's F major 7. C is the 5th. Here's F major 7. D is the 6th. Here's F major 7. E is the major 7. Here's F major 7. Da. And G is the 9. And it repeats. 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. It's so beautiful. So you can do that when you're soloing. We all love A minor pentatonic, okay? So just by knowing that little strategy there, that you can achieve the melody colors, the emphasis on the 6, the 7, and the 9 by thinking off the 3rd degree of the chord you're on. This is in general, but you know, of course, for this song, just gravitate toward the 3rd. And that's one reason why you gotta know your spelling. If I said F, what's the 3rd? You would say A. If I said C, what's the 3rd? You would say, here's C majors. You would play E minor penta. Nice, Graham. Graham's got coffee this morning. Well, it's morning where he's at, afternoon for me, night for some of you already. 3rd degree, okay? Oh, T, nice. Oh, that'd be a good one. T for 2, it's a lovely song. So yeah, 3rd degree is very important. Just be able to do your spelling so that when you're jamming and you see G major 7, you think B minor. You see D flat major, you think F minor. Penta, these are great subs, just off the 3. You could think chords, you could think arpeggios, you could think pentatonic. Very important to think off the 3rd degree. If I broke down the melody a little bit more for you, 9, 7, 13, or 6, 9. On the G7, root, 6, 5. G minor 7, that's the flat 7. That's the 3rd of the C7. And then F major 7, the 5th. Yes, Graham's question is, would D minor pentatonic work on the F major 7 or the F chord? And the question is absolutely, absolutely. That's what's expected though. That gives us the root, the 2, the 9, the 3, the 5, and the 6. So this chord that I played earlier and showed you, my other favorite route is this 6-9 chord, F6-9. It's very bossa nova-y. This chord, F6-9, I call the pentatonic chord, F6-9. Why? Why do I call F6-9 the or just the 6-9 pentatonic chord? It has the 1, the 3, the 6, the 9, the 2 is a 9, and the 5. If you put them in order, you have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. This chord has all 5 notes of the major pentatonic scale in a chord. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. But we're calling the 2 the 9. We're playing it up an octave. But this chord is F major penta. Okay? And you can do this, which is D minor. Same 5 notes. F major penta is D minor penta. Okay? The difference, though, and there's nothing wrong with that. You get that really inside flavor. I like it. And you got a lot, you know, the roots in there. But by doing the A minor penta, which is equivalent to C major penta, okay, this is also important to have those relatives down. By doing that, there is no root. It's rootless. So you get those extensions. It's a little bit more colorful. Maybe a little bit more floaty, because there's no root, except in the chord, right? The bass too. So it has this little floatier vibe versus this F6-9, which has a root. So depends on your flavor. I like to mix and match. Pentatonics and jazzes are really wonderful. You can use them often in ways that you might not think to get some extensions, like I'm showing you here, or even alterations. Okay, so if you want to play jazz and you're a rock player and you already know your pentatonics, awesome. You know, now you can learn how to use them in the not so expected ways. Hear that? He's like, pentatonics. All right. Guitar player. What was that? Like a tritone? All right, have fun with the traffic behind me here. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the B section melody. Thanks for joining me, you guys, on this lesson here. This is a little bonus lesson. Major 7, little melodic. Again, why is this important? Because I want to know those colors, so when I'm soloing, I can bring out those flavors of the melody, you know? That's why the song's so beautiful, because you might be playing a little bit more into the major 7, and the 9, and then this. And there's lots of fun soloing things. And then there's F sharp minor, minor 9. So one of my favorite hacks to show you is kind of approaching right here. On this F sharp minor, I'm thinking A major 7. This. This. So I'm thinking, I see F sharp minor 7 on the chart, but I'm playing A major 7. And that gives us that same trick again. We're on F sharp minor, but on the 3rd degree, which is A, we play the major 7. And so that, collectively, well, I'll play the F sharp here. I'll get a little bit fancy. F sharp, the root, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7, and the 9. That's F sharp minor 9. But again, we can get rid of the root. These are called rootless. Get rid of the root. The root's in the guitar rhythm, and the root's in the bass. You could be thinking A major 7. And I added on the 9 to the A major, which is the 11 of the F sharp minor. So that's often what I like to do, is just go straight to the 3rd degree on the F sharp minor. I don't necessarily think F sharp minor. And then check it out, this is what's so beautiful. This is when it goes to D9, I turn that A major to A minor. So I got A major, then I have A minor. And I love the melodic minor scale. You can do minor major 7, you can do a little 2-5 lick there, whatever. But I like to think A major, A minor. And then I move it up a half step, it's easy. B flat major for the G minor. It's more kind of in the West Montgomery style. And then E flat 9, B flat minor. And then the 3, 6, 2, 5. Okay, so those are the little hacks. Some of you have already seen my advanced soloing concepts for the Girl from Ipanema, the hacks, the strategies. That's all contained in there. And there's a video on YouTube too where I'm demonstrating that same technique, okay? It's really nice to have some sort of strategy for soloing. Some songs are different than others, right? And I can't name another song that uses the B section Girl from Ipanema chord changes. If anybody else can, let me know. Or maybe, you know, it's time to write a couple new standards or songs that use the B section in the Girl from Ipanema. It's very unique. But again, this little method of how I like to think about for soloing is, oh, I didn't show you that first part too. I kind of start with G flat major, face value. Then when it goes to B9, I just minor it. So I like thinking a lot of major to minor. That's for the B7. And then this F sharp minor, I'm thinking A major. And then when it goes to the D9, I think A minor. And I like the melodic minor scale, if you're wondering. And then on the G minor, I think B flat major. And then on the E flat 9, B flat melodic minor, or minor 6 major 7 arpeggios. And then the 3, 6, 2, 5. Okay. Let's just play it out once here. little bit with chords. I love exploring with chords. And then here's our ending chord. F major 7, sharp 11. So easy to achieve if you just kind of pretend you're playing an F bar chord and just simply lift up so you're not barring. You have the open B and the open E, which is the sharp 11 and the major 7 respectively. You can do this. If you wanted to, you could even remove this finger, the A, so you get the 9. But I like the 3rd in there. So you can choose to do that or do this. And here's my trick that I always talk about. In order to achieve the Lydian flavor, you know, there's just little hacks, little tricks for you to know. In order to achieve that Lydian vibe, which is this sound, you go down a half step and you play the minor penta. So it's E minor penta. And that gives you that flavor. That's if you might be like, hey Tracy, I don't know the Lydian scale. I'd be like, don't worry about it. You know your minor penta, right? Play that. You just gotta know how to think of it. So on the root, F major 7, go down a half step, E, and play your E minor penta. And I know you know that, you know all your blues licks. Right? You're like, oh yeah, I like my E minor. But then play this chord, it sounds so hip. E minor penta, I hope you guys know this, is equivalent to what major penta? You want to be able to think both ways, and that's why it's so important that you master your 5 positions of the penta. This. That's E minor. I gave it away. That's G major, nobody wrote it. That's G major. That's, well, these are all E minor, same 5 notes. These are just different positions of the pentatonic. And that would all be over this chord. And that gives us the Lydian vibe, beautiful ending sound. Different from the melody. Remember the melody's this. We want this. We don't want the Lydian vibe. Maybe you do. But save that for the next word. There's so many fun improvisational things that we can apply to get various colors. And my spiel on this is experiment with chords. Many of you already know that. Experiment with different chord colors and see if you like it. You like on this chord. If you like that, like, ooh, I like that color, the flat 5 on the 2 chord, you can play the F melodic minor. So, experiment with that. That might not normally be what you think on a G7. You might just, play blues licks. But if you want that particular color because of the chord, then you can achieve it again by thinking about what scale or what arpeggio can I use. Hello, welcome, Francisco and Nick. Hello to both of you. Thanks for joining in. I'm just wrapping this up here. We're on the Girlfriend of Ipanema. And then talking more again about chords, what I do recommend is to experiment with chords. Many of you know my favorite things to do. That's called chord exploring. It's to kind of keep a melody moving on the 2nd string. It's kind of what I call melodic comping. So let's try this together here and see what comes up. F major 7, the plain old grip chord shape. And if we go up a half step, we could get G7 with a flat 5. Now, if we go up another half step, I try to find chromatic voice leading because it's really smooth and creates some really beautiful lines, chromatic. That's G minor. And you might say, oh, that's kind of boring. You'd add the 9 on. You can do a lot of fun things, with just plain old chord shapes. By the way, I'm often playing my minor chord like this. But because I'm doing finger style, I'm not playing the C note. You're not hearing that. I'm bypassing the 5th string. So I'm plucking specifically this. Okay? So, and then let's go chromatically from there. That's a D sharp or E flat on a G13 chord. Or C7 sharp 9. See, the tritone sub works great. And then I want to go here to this E note. I could just go to this F major 7 or this F major 7. So let's try this just so you can kind of hear how nice it is to have a little voice leading within your comping so that your comping becomes melodic. How about flat 9? Let's check it out. I like it. 9. Lydian. Now, Lydian may not be the best choice to pull us to the B section, but it's fun, you know, if you're just kind of playing by yourself and you want to experiment with colors, you could do stuff like that. So again, what I was doing just to demonstrate this experimenting, I call it chord exploring. I'm using the second string primarily, even though I was going back and forth, toggling a little bit, but this helps me kind of just come up with some unique chords that I wouldn't normally play. So F major 7, I'm gonna show you with the bass. And it kind of is parallel here, but this, and then this, no, that's not true. This, it's easier to think about with chords. And this, and this, and this, and this. And then what I do for the turnaround, oh, I think I started here, I don't know what I did there, but, so we have this again. So that's just kind of an example, again, some melodic comping. You can do it here. I did F6, F major 9 on the 9. Then I went to G7 with the flat 9. Same idea, just kind of playing around with different colors. G minor 9, C7, G flat 7. And then I did the Lydian there, but that might not be a great choice. But if you did, here's your E minor pentatonic there. Well, hey everybody, thanks for joining me today on this lesson for The Girl from Ipanema, one of the most requested songs. I know for me, when I'm playing at my wine bar gigs, especially just solo guitar, this is definitely the most requested song. And it's such a beautiful song. I do really recommend that you listen to as many versions as possible. Learn the basic version, explore, try it in different keys, listen to hear what other players are doing, play around with it, have fun. Thanks everybody, good to see you all, take care.